That guy was a poet. Over the years, I have written and shared with you many stories in poetry and verse. Sometimes I just ramble on about things that I either remember or pull out of my, for lack of a better word, mind. I know some of my poetry and writings contain sadness and sorrow searching for a better tomorrow. But it is my fondest wish that most of my writings transport you to a happier place in your past or present, putting a smile on your face and in your heart. Different people have different reasons for writing poetry and sharing their thoughts, either written or verbally. I can't really tell you why others do it, but I can tell you why I do. Or at least I can try to give you an idea as to why I think I do. I first got into writing because of hearing a story about a couple of dogs that were abused and put to death without real cause. It affected me deeply. And I wrote a fictional story about an abused dog. I called it My Name is Dog. I cried as I was writing it, and every time I would read it for someone. And then shortly after that, my wife and I rescued a dog named Missy, and she had heartworms. I wrote a short poem called No Heartworms for Missy, and gave it to the vet when Missy was getting the dangerous heartworm treatment. Missy was saved and lived another 8 years after that. Thank you, God, for that. After I shared the poem with others and got much encouragement, I just went on a poetry writing spree. It was so much fun taking a subject and putting it in rhyme. My wife at home and mother by telephone were the two most important people in my writings. Not so much as models for what I was writing, but because they never had a negative word for my work. They both realized that it was my words and thoughts, and they would just listen without judgment. I never wanted then, nor do I want now, a critic. If you want to criticize something, write it yourself. Hence, my poem, Don't Need a Critic. After I had written a number of poems, I found a coffee house that had poetry readings, and I started to read my poetry out loud to whomever would listen. I have read in many different coffee house settings and still participate on a regular basis here in Florida. Call me a ham or whatever. I love being up on the stage and the center of attention. After going on and on, the real reason I think I write is the old live forever thing. By writing and being published, be that in a magazine, newspaper, a part of a group in a book, or having a book that is entirely written by me, as long as my words are in written form and people remember me, I will never die. I will always be remembered and live forever. My, oh my, how vain you might be saying. I say not so vain, but out of fear of dying, without having my mark on the world, no matter how small or unimportant it might be. Maybe someday, when I am forgotten, maybe hundreds of years from now, someone will pick up something I have written or listen to an old recording and hear me reciting my work and say, wow, now that guy was a poet. And then I will live again.